Are you ready to rock and roll, Queen?
Yes.
Let's do it. I'm so excited to finally meet you, y'all. Let me just play this really quick.
Backstage with Brooke.
Welcome to Backstage with Brooke, your all-access pass to Music City, where nothing is off limits. Grab a drink. Let's go backstage.
Y'all, Tanner Adell is here.
Buckle bunny. Drive my own truck, got my own money.
Can I just say, before we start anything, you literally are doing what nobody else is doing. And I love it.
Thank you.
It is seriously the best.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. I was like, I'm sure everybody tells you about how, like, you're just bringing something else to the table that nobody is in country music. And listen, like, I always say, like, I love Jesus. I cuss a little bit and I'm a little hood, right? So it's like, we need a little bit of that. You know what I mean? So I just love it. But first and foremost, I just wanted to say that. But secondly, I'm so excited to finally meet you because I feel like I've been in talks to, like, do this podcast. We had to reschedule once because my daughter got really sick. So
my gosh.
Thank you for coming back.
I'm really excited to be here. So
Yay. All right, perfect. Well, I want to, before we dive into the mixtape and everything that's going on in your life right now, I want to start like day one, Tanner, when you fell in love with music and when you decided this is my dream. This is what I want to do for a living.
Yes. I was so young. I think the first time that I can really remember listening to a song and it like moving me, this is like one of my earliest memories too. I had to have been like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
And all my siblings were putting piano like pretty early. But my brother had a piano in his room down the hall and he was playing something. And I sat up in bed. I was so little, sat up in bed and just started bawling my eyes out and just felt like so touched.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, just, I've always loved music and it was always just going to be that easy for me. I'm kind of a crybaby. And
Girl,
so
same.
there are, like I will, if songs like move me, I will cry.
And I think that's such a special gift to have too, because I always say that, like, if I'm going to a concert, I'm going to cry at some point in the show. It doesn't matter who's playing, what kind of music it is. There is one point in the show where it's like touching me in my core and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm going to cry really quick and then be done with it.
Yes. It's like just the fact that someone's doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's just my brother.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're like, you have cooties, get away from me.
I don't even like you and you don't even like me.
Mm-hmm.
But like, even just someone's connection to music is always very beautiful and inspiring to me.
Yeah.
I love all kinds of music and I just love artists in general.
Have you told him that story? Like, does he know that
No.
he's like the one?
No. No, I'm going to keep that one to myself and to you.
Out in the world right now,
Yeah, now everybody knows.
No, but that's such a sweet moment too, because it's such a, like, I feel like a pure thing, because my daughter, she's 2 and we were talking about her a little bit ago, but she will like watch movies. Like right now she loves Sing 2. That's like her thing.
Yes.
And at the very end, like when Sky Full of Stars starts playing at the end, he's like on the piano. She like drops everything and just stares at the screen. And like, there are certain parts in the song where she'll like tear up a little bit and like she can understand the emotion and what's happening with like the fight scene and stuff.
Right.
And it's so cool to see such a young mind. So I can only imagine what it was like for you, like in bed, so young, and just being like, what is that? I don't know what it is, but I love it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. No, first of all, Sing and Sing 2 are
The jam.
fantastic.
They're such good movies.
I will say, I rarely watch even like PG-13 and above.
Yeah.
I'm like very in the PGs and the Gs. So like
Right.
Sing especially, that's a great example of something that is like this fun and cute movie, but like, no, I'm crying.
Literally.
Yeah. Like,
and at the very end, when he
brings
comes
me.
out and like his wife is like right next to him at that
Yes.
very end scene, I'm like,
Yeah.
why am I crying at a kid's movie? It's crazy what music really can do to you.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yeah.
So fast forward to after you decide music, or you fell in love with music, to when you were like, okay, I'm going to try to make music. Like, I want to do my own thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've always wanted to. It's always been my dream, especially as a teenager. And then really 2 years ago when I moved to Nashville was when I made the choice to completely pursue music. I went to school at Utah Valley University only for a couple of years. I didn't graduate, and my voice coach was like, why are you here?
Yeah.
She's like, you need to choose. She's like, you need to choose LA. You need to choose, you need to choose Nashville. you need to choose and you need to get out of here because I don't know why you're in school doing this.
Yeah.
You need to just be out there doing it.
I love that.
And that was when I was like, okay, like I'm going. And yeah, got hooked up with someone who I knew a few years previous who was living here. And he was like, you should just come out and like write, see if you like it. And there was something that just hit me. And I just knew I was supposed to live here and be here. And this is what I was supposed to do. And I had never been to Nashville before. I packed up everything, sold everything that I could so that I had a little bit of money to come here and moved in like a week.
And you just did it.
Yeah, I called my parents. I'm like, I'm moving to Nashville. And they were like,
what?
Okay. I'm kind of the furthest out from my parents, and kind of the only kid that went for something
Big.
Yeah, like just.
Yeah.
I guess like music is mainstream, but like something that's not like a mainstream
Like
job.
career, totally.
You know, and I'm sure it scared my parents a little bit, but they are my biggest fans, and they've been to so many of my shows this year, and every time they're just, oh, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you for following your dreams, and they've always been so supportive. So it was an easy choice to just be like, well, I'm going to Nashville.
Yeah. Well, and I saw a quote actually today that kind of like aligns with what you just said. It was I think it said something like, your dreams don't have an expiration date. Just get up and try again.
I love that.
And it's just like, so many people, I feel like they bury these like huge dreams that they have, and they're like, well, it's not the right time, or oh, I'll never be ready. And it's just like, dude, get back up and try again.
do it.
Go. Because if
Yeah.
you would have never moved to Nashville, you wouldn't have known the impact
Yeah.
that you're having right now, but are going to have as well. Like,
Yes.
not just in country music, but I feel like there's going to be some sort of like crossover situation. Like there just has to be, like Luke Combs being played on, you know, he's got Fast Car on country radio and on pop radio. So I think that it's so cool how I feel like genres are very like much merging right now.
Yes.
And I think that, I mean, literally, like there's no better person than Tanner Adell to like do both.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
I want to go there with you and your family. When you release a song like this,
I'm a buckle bunny. Got my
are your
own
parents
truck.
like, what is a buckle bunny? Or are they like, okay.
You know, my mom growing up, she showed horses and did a lot of rodeo stuff.
Yeah.
So she's kind of on the opposite side of like what a buckle bunny is.
Right.
But she finds it hilarious. And, you know, I always tend to write pretty like witty things. Nothing, I don't take life too seriously. And my writing is the same. And one of my favorite songs is Dumb Blonde by Dolly Parton. And not a lot of people know it was an outside cut. It was a song that broke her. And it's a witty take on, you know, people call women who are blonde the dumb blonde.
Yeah.
And they took it and they flipped it. And that was literally the song that broke her. So I always go back to that when people are like, oh, the Buckle Bunny. And do you even know what that means? And I'm like,
You're like,
I wouldn't have written, like, I wrote the song.
Well, and I feel like people also too, it's like, yes, it's quite literally what a buckle bunny is, right? But
Yes.
it's also like what people perceive someone as when they don't know who they are.
Exactly.
And like what they look like. They're wearing too much makeup, or they're not supposed to be here, like that kind of thing.
Yes.
And I think people quite literally miss the fact that, like you said, it is very lighthearted.
Yeah, entirely. It's just it's a spin on it.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like, people nowadays, I feel like, just take everything too serious.
Yes.
So the fact that you can like put something out that, one, is a bop, like it's so fun to listen to, but also it's just kind of like poking fun at like, yeah, okay, you think that's what I am, cool, then I'll just call myself that.
Exactly. Exactly. I call it Funtry.
Yes, Funtry. Wait, what? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Funtry music.
Yeah, Funtry music.
This is the new
Fun
this
country.
Is it. You're
Funtry.
I'm so into that. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when you're deciding how you want to sound as a musician, you know, moving to Nashville, you're from California, right?
Yes.
And
Star Valley, Wyoming.
Wyoming. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're kind of merging the two and deciding how, you know, Tanner Adell is going to like make her mark in the world and what you want to sound like, did you have were you scared at any point where you're like, I'm not sure, I don't want to be you know, you want to be your own person. You don't want to sound like another artist, but how did you decide that's where you wanted to go?
Yeah. You know, I think I tried to suppress my duality for a while and really tried to stick to one side of myself, and then I would go all the way to the other end of the spectrum and write like I was this side of myself. Yeah. But at the heart of it all, I've always been mixed. Even my ethnicity, I am mixed. And so growing up in Los Angeles, that's half of my life. Growing up in Star Valley, that's the other half of my life. And once I stopped trying to separate them and decide which one I wanted to be, was when I feel like I became my true authentic self, which is both, which is so hard for people to like wrap their minds around. Yeah. They're like, this isn't country. It sounds like pop. And I'm like, it's pop both. Country. That like, it is a genre of music. Like it is both. And I don't know, as a female artist, I'm hoping that it can inspire other people to come along and, you know, make country music the way that they feel like they want to make it. Yeah. And I'm excited to see over the next few years what, you know, if I can open some doors for some other people.
Well, and I always bring it back to like Garth Brooks, right? He did the whole Chris Gaines thing, you know? And it's just like, Garth is as country as they come. Period. And then he comes out and is like this alter ego. And it's just like, there's no real label on what music is supposed to sound like, right? And it's just like, yes, back in the day it sounded different because there was different technology now that can make music sound different. And it's about like opening your ears and really just like I said, don't take things too seriously. Like
exactly.
Music is supposed to be fun and like freeing, not something for you to criticize. If you don't like it, then turn the channel or turn it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go listen to something you do like. It's okay.
And I love how you've kind of taken, and I know being, you know, doing things independently is like, I mean, a grind first and foremost. Yes. But like the following that you've built and doing social media and just having it being so well received online. Obviously there's the haters. There's always going to be.
Yeah, there's always a couple.
But knowing that you're finding that success because obviously you're doing something right? Is that intimidating to you, or how do you react when things like that? Like your first video goes viral and you're like, what is this?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, I think I struggled with a little bit of like imposter syndrome for a little while. I don't think that's that uncommon for women in general when we start seeing success after we've put in so much work and you start getting to the point where it's like, okay, well, who am I? Like, do I deserve this? Like, what am I doing? Yeah. But besides that, I think the amount of positive energy and messages that I receive, story posts, I don't post all of them because it would literally take up my entire like story would just be filled with hundreds of them. Yeah. The amount of happiness that I've seen come out of this, and girls that come to me and say, I was always embarrassed to listen to country music, or people made fun of me for listening to country music, and you've made it cool for me to listen to, is like cherry on top of everything. I don't take any of that for granted. Yeah.
And it's so crazy how people really, there is that weird stigma with country music because I remember growing up and it was just like normal, right? My husband grew up in like Chicago, Southside Chicago, and he would listen to country music or like Eric Church, and people are like, what is that? You know what I mean? And there really is that like disconnect of like what is cool and what's not. But it's like we said earlier, music is meant to be something that brings you joy or makes you evoke some emotion out of you. So if you don't like it, just change it. Yeah. It's literally that
super
simple.
Easy.
When you were growing up, what were some of the like major artists that you listened to, like people who inspired your like influences and your career?
Yes. Like before being a teenager or during being a teenager?
All of it, girl.
Okay.
All of it.
I mean, my dad really introduced me to like jazz music. So whenever he drove me to like an orthodontist appointment or to school or something, it was always jazz music. So I love Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole. He introduced me to Ella Fitzgerald very early on in my life, who I think for me, as far as how I sing, I think influences a lot of stylistically the vocals that I do. If you listen to Ella Fitzgerald, she was kind of the mother of like riffing vocally. Like she made that mainstream. Yeah. And so a lot of those little inflections, I think definitely come from being raised on her.
Love that. I love it.
And then when I was a teenager, like don't ask me why, but Kesha like spoke so hard to me. I absolutely love her. I was able to go see her live at Love Loud in Utah, and she was just fantastic.
Kesha's a mood. Always.
I think it was like my rebel phase, and I'm like,
You're like brushing your teeth with a bottle of Jack.
Exactly. Like hiding wine in my room as a 17-year-old. Beyonce's obviously a huge inspiration for me. I don't try to take anything sonically or even like image wise. We're very different as like two people and two artists. But the level that she has been able to get to and the work that she has put in, that is the kind of artist that I aspire to be. Working tirelessly and hours to get to the point where she is now. I saw her in LA just a couple weeks ago, and I was so like struck. It was my first Beyonce live concert, and I was struck in awe by her and the amount of times that she said thank you and how grateful she was to even be here. And she said, she was like, tonight we are celebrating 30 years of music. It took 30 years to get to this point. Like, thank you for all of that. But like, tonight we're going to rock. The amount of times that she expressed gratitude, I was like, and I'm going to remember that.
Well, and that's just it. Like, I feel like a lot of artists do take that for granted, where it's like you really get caught up in the monotony of every night I get to do a show. People are here to see me. I'm on stage. Like, you're on this pedestal. And to really humble yourself and break it down, being like, I literally would not be this without you. I think that's so huge.
It was so cool. It was very cool. She's so cool.
Girl, I remember my first Beyonce concert. I lived out in LA, and we saw her at the Rose Bowl. And like, I was a Beyonce fan, but I was not like a Beyonce, like, I'm going to buy tickets to your show. My friend was like a huge Beyonce fan. She's like, will you come with me? And I remember sitting in the crowd and I'm like jaw on the floor. Like, this woman is a performer. She's a vocalist. She's just a badass. So yes, first Beyonce concert is an experience.
Bawling my eyes out. When she came out of the stage, the first thing she said was Los Angeles.
And you're like, okay, that's it. I'm screaming.
Bawling my eyes out. And she starts with Dangerously in Love as she's coming out of the floor. And I was just like, this is
And the fact that her daughter like gets to perform with her,
oh my gosh, and she looks so good up there. I can't with she's amazing.
Dreams, literal dreams. Like having your kid be a part of something that you've built. Like I can't even imagine her being on stage as a mother, just like the gratitude, but like also the like proudness that she must feel of like, that's my kid, but also this is my show. You know?
I'd be bawling my eyes out.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know how she's not crying.
I don't know how she does it. I'm sure she has before, but man, I don't know how she doesn't just get super emotional on stage. Man, okay, so I want to kind of pivot a little bit because I feel like you do have this like real edgy side, but you do like kind of, like you said, you're California, Wyoming, two complete opposite spectrums of like living, right? Yes. And then you put out songs like this one.
But every time he's singing, my country heart still wants to be the girl in a Luke Combs song.
Like there are country roots in your bones. Like you can feel it. You can hear it. You can feel it. And then putting out a song like this, I mean, it reminds me of like Taylor Swift, Tim McGraw, and like really just like paying homage to those roots, or like even people in the industry that you look up to, or like, you know. But this song specifically, I don't know what it was, but it was like one of those songs you hear it for the first time and like you just like tear up a little bit. You get like chills. You're like, this is such a beautiful message, and it's just such a beautiful song. And like your voice is unreal. Like your professor in Utah was
don't make me cry now.
You are meant to do this, but when you're putting together a song like that, I mean, the lyrics in general, like everything is just so beautifully put together. Were you like writing it and you're like, this is it. Oh, this is genius. This is so good.
No.
Really?
Yeah. So funnily enough, the way that song kind of like came together, I'd had the idea for a little while, and I wrote it with Derek Sutherland. He did More Hearts Than Mine with Ingrid, and Evan Klein was my producer for that. And we had gone through, it's probably like 3 hours into our writing session, trying to figure out how to write this idea.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had a billion different melodies and lyrics and all these things. And Derek finally just handed me the guitar, and he was like, I just want you to pretend like you're in your room and you're writing this, and like whatever comes out of you, that's what we're going to go with.
Yeah.
And so I started with that riff going down on guitar. And I think, I'm trying to remember, like the first lyric that was written might have been a chorus lyric. It was probably the tagline of the "To Be a Girl in a Luke Combs" song.
Yeah.
And from that point, then it took like an hour.
Just
And
cake,
then
yeah.
it just like flowed out. There was a whole version that was entirely produced with a bunch of different instruments and a full track. And my A&R said, I want to hear it acoustic. Like, just try it acoustic, and I want to see. And we did it acoustic, and it was just obvious. It didn't need
thinking about it. I don't even know why. I
Yeah.
like have chills thinking of it. It's just like
it
it's
didn't
just
need everything
so
else.
good.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so rare to, maybe not rare, but it's just like it comes so few and far between like being in this business and like listening to music where I'm just like, that is such a special song. And I heard that song for the first time and I was just like, girl. And it's like, you know, it's like one of those songs you put on repeat and like, I can't sing, but when I hear that song, I pretend like I can sing. You know what I mean?
I love that.
So shout out to you for really
Thank
evoking
you.
some sort of, you know, emotion out of not just me, but I know that so many of your fans love that song too.
Yes, it's doing so well. It's been like 4 or 5 days, and the streams are through the roof. Got added to hundreds and hundreds of playlists. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your goal on like so you have a vision board sitting in front of you. What is something on there that like you tangibly can see? You're like, okay, I think I can do that next.
Releasing an album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soon?
Yeah.
Next year soon?
Yeah. Yeah. Top half of next year. I'm not going to say too much.
Yes.
But I mean, as an artist, even just as a kid, like an album is everything. And I get asked about when's the album coming? Because this was a mixtape and we got a little taste of it.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to truly be a mix of all my different emotions and sounds, and really ending with Luke Combs being like this acoustic moment.
Yeah.
I don't want people to ever think that they can expect what's coming from me.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of work and tears and blood and sweat going into the making of this next album. And I'm very excited for people to hear it.
I'm really excited too because you, like you said, you really don't know what to expect. Like you listen to your mixtape and it truly is a mixtape. It's like one of those that you put together of like all of your favorite songs on one, and it's like all different genres, but it all is your favorite, you know? Yeah. And I just love that you can go from like feeling a little like feeling a little ghetto, and then you're like, oh, I'm country. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And I think we all have all of that inside of us where it's like so many people put stuff in a box, and I'm like, you're allowed to like rap, you're allowed to like country music, you're allowed to like Christian music, you're allowed to like pop, you know, you're allowed to like it all.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
So I love that we're kind of getting that from you because I feel like I said
very
before,
much.
it's just something that we don't have right now. And I love that.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you. Is there anything in the industry or like in this business that you moved to Nashville and you're like scared of, that you felt a little intimidated by when you got here?
No.
Yes.
I
girl.
love it here.
Heck yes. I love your confidence. What is that girl's name? Somebody did an interview where she was like, how are you? And she goes, I'm successful. And I'm like, that's the kind of energy I want.
Yes. Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I love it here. I think it's such a different community than like Los Angeles music community. I had a couple of writers and producers come out from LA last week and put them for writing for the album, put them in rooms with Nashville writers, and the magic that came out of that was unparalleled.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be doing that even more. I think people here are a little bit nervous about really collaborating with LA talent.
Yeah.
Just because it is so pop leaning, so different and out there. But when I say I saw sides of these hip hop producers that I did not think were possible.
Yeah.
I mean that.
I'm so
excited.
excited.
I'm excited to be able to bring different talents from different backgrounds and different areas together, because that's what I am.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Girl, I'm ready. I am ready. I'm like, I'm going to put that on my, I always have like little countdowns on like my calendar when I'm like, you know, getting ready for stuff. And I'm like, Tanner's album, 2024.
There it
I'm
is.
ready. And I'm just going to keep asking you about it. I'm going to bring it back and we're going to talk about it when you can talk about more. But I truly mean it when I say that, I mean, you diving into Nashville and being a part of CMA Fest and you're at all of these different shows and you're just starting, but you're making your mark. And I truly think that's such a special quality to have because like you said, you're not scared. You love it here. You're standing your ground and you're taking up space. And I can't wait for you. It's going to be so great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So to end the podcast, we do a little fun thing.
Okay.
There's a gumball machine right next to you.
Cute.
In there. Yeah. That's your gumball question of the day to end the show.
Fine. I still got it.
You got that.
Okay. And it's even pink.
Is that your favorite color?
Was this planned?
I don't know.
Did you rig it?
I might have heard that you like Taco Bell a little bit, so I want to know what your order is.
What is your Taco Bell order? Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. When I'm really hungry or just my like.
You're going through the drive-thru at 2 a.m.
Okay, fine.
What are you getting?
Fine.
What $30 are you spending at Taco Bell at 2 in the morning? Because that's real.
No, literally. I'm really about to expose myself. Okay. The spicy potato soft tacos are my favorite item on the menu.
Okay.
So I usually do like 3 of those, but I like adding onions to them. Yum. I love a chicken quesadilla. This is still the same order.
Yes, it is, girl.
And sometimes I'll do a meal with that, like if I'm feeling the Baja Blast and it comes with the crunchy taco. So it's like, okay, maybe if I want all those things, then I'll just do a number 7.
Yeah.
Chicken, not steak.
Yes, girl.
And then I love the bean burritos.
The bean burritos are it.
I'll do a bean burrito.
With some hot sauce?
Yes.
Girl, yes.
And the cinnamon twist.
Okay, if you don't get cinnamon twist at Taco Bell, you
are
not
They're like
real.
90 cents. You got to get them.
Literally.
Yeah, I am obsessed with Taco Bell. They sent me a package just the other day, and so they sent me these 2 huge oversized T-shirts with a big Taco Bell on them, and like long socks with Taco Bell and a little drink cup thing.
Yeah,
I am obsessed. Taco Bell sponsored this.
we stand Taco Bell, okay?
Big time.
Oh my
Big
goodness.
time.
Yeah, the cinnamon twist, like if you don't get those at the end,
so good.
You're not real.
So
Even just
good.
to have
You're
one,
not real.
Yeah, you're just not. You're not a real Taco Bell fan if you don't get the cinnamon twist. Okay?
Honestly.
All right, yeah, we're on the same page. If you're not ordering $30 at Taco Bell at 2 in the morning,
what are you
who
doing?
are you?
Yeah, literally.
She said, I'm exposing myself. Girl, we all do it. And that's okay.
Yeah, I think it's just about time that people start admitting it,
That's what I'm saying.
Stop hiding that you love Taco Bell.
Literally, you love it. I don't care what's in it. I just love it, okay?
Literally.
Yeah. Well, Tanner, I'm so excited to finally have met you.
Thank you for having
You're
me.
welcome.
This was so fun.
So fun. I was like, we got to go out with this.
I'm a buckle bunny.
I can't wait to have you
Got
back.
my own truck.
Thank
got my
you.
own
You're welcome.